Hello, folks. Welcome back. This is Chris in Central Pennsylvania. State Department spokesman Tammy Bruce was responding to questions from the media following last week's expulsion of South Africa's ambassador to the United States, Ibrahim Rasool. And this is kind of how it went.
Sean.
Thanks. Can I go back to South Africa, the ambassador?
Sure.
The secretary, of course, had his ex posted on Friday. Could you explain a little bit the reasons? It's quite an extraordinary step.
It's quite an extraordinary step. No, not really. What Ambassador Rasool did was extraordinary in itself and well beyond the pale, something we rarely, if ever, see in diplomacy.
I was looking back. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, even in the height of tensions with Russia, there was no expulsion of the ambassador and no PNG there.
Fair point. But I do not recall the Soviet ambassador ever calling the American president the head of a global white supremacy movement. Don't you think that's a little bit beyond the pale there, buddy? Unprecedented in and of itself?
What is it? I mean, essentially, this is remarks that the ambassador made at a think tank or at a conference that were critical. What I'm getting at is, should other ambassadors be on alert? Can they not criticize President Trump without fear of being expelled?
Should other ambassadors not be on alert? Folks, I smell an Ivy League toad in the Department of State press room. The juvenile, smug comment does not deserve a response. But Tammy Bruce breaks it down for Junior just the same.
Well, I think it's not about criticism. This was the equation of the president and the country with white supremacy. It was an allegation that casts such an awful light on the nature of the country, on individuals.
Spot on. 100%. She just nailed it.
It is. I mean, if we don't have a standard about the nature of someone who is in this country, who is supposed to be a diplomat to help facilitate the relationship between two countries, and that this is the standard of it, we deserve better. We've had a decent level of diplomacy with South Africa. There are some challenges, but you want people in each embassy who can actually facilitate a relationship. And these remarks were unacceptable to the United States, not just to the president, but to every American. They were pretty much obscene when it came to the nature of what was alleged. Indeed, imagine Ambassador reciprocating that language. It would have not gone well, as senior GNU government officials have admitted. So that is, I think, at the very least, what we should expect is a standard of some respect. Basic, low-level respect, if you're in a position that is going to help facilitate any kind of diplomatic relationship with another country. This particular individual certainly didn't meet that standard, and it is a message to people of what America expects, what the president expects, what the Secretary of State expects, what this whole administration expects when it comes to treatment of the nation itself and as a result of the people in this country. And so that's why it was done.
Sure. I could just expand on that. South Africa today said that it wants to have a better relationship with the United States. Are you open to that? I mean, there's been the Secretary of State away from the G20. Are you of the view that South Africa can report the relationship despite the criticism that's come from this building?
Notice how the smarmy leprechaun blames the tattered relationship on the United States, not on South Africa. Kick this clown to the curb. America has been very generous, kind, and understanding in spite of countless insults and affronts over the past several years. And this goober blames a statement from the Department of State?
Well, I think both the President and the Secretary of State have made it clear what the problems are and what they have an issue with when it comes to South Africa.
And here she reads the executive order. Perhaps now South African politicians can pay attention to what is said, not what they want to hear, so that they can feel illegitimately aggrieved.
The unjust land expropriation law, as well as its growing relationship with countries like Russia and Iran. That's what prompted the serious review of our South Africa policy, which continues to be underway. They have taken also, the South African government, aggressive positions toward the United States and its allies, including accusing Israel, not Hamas, of genocide in the International Court of Justice, and reinvigorating its relationship with Iran to develop commercial, military, and nuclear arrangements.
Did you hear that? Please take note. Iran, Iran, Iran. Take heed, Pretoria.
So this isn't one just of demeanor or decorum, however they add into it. This is a matter of a nation that is, we've again made it very clear, taking steps that are not in the best interest of providing a safe, secure, more prosperous America, let alone world, when it comes to the decisions they're making. So all of this is under review, but obviously part of it is, within the diplomacy of it, is to encourage a change in policy and posture. Of course that would be the point. The point is to encourage a change. What I've seen with the trips we've made with the diplomatic adventures, of course, as well as the G7 summit in Canada, is the nature of the Secretary of State is to make things better for people. It is not to punish or to target people or countries. It's the nature of changing policy and creating better environments for all of us. And I've seen that in motion in every dynamic. And that's the case here with South Africa as well.
And there you have it, folks. Response to questions about the South African ambassador's expulsion, which got DC's attention and certainly got Pretoria's attention. So what say you, South Africa? Is this warranted? Is it unwarranted? Was this fair? Well, it really isn't germane. It's a done deal. Ambassador Rasool must be out of the country. He's already lost his ambassador status, and he must be out of the country here in just a matter of hours at this stage. Cheers.